Welcome to another episode on the Heartbeat podcast. Today, as you can see, we went a little bit more professional, and I am so grateful to have three of my closest friends in Australia today with me, and we are going to talk today about everything we have experienced since we've moved away. But the special twist being that, it's not that just one person is talking about one perspective, one experience, but it's four people coming from four different countries and talking about every individual journey. So it's going to be, I think, a very multi-perspective episode in which people can tune in if they are just moving away or just about to move away and want to hear how it's actually like. But we've all met here in Sydney, and before we start, I want to give everyone the opportunity to introduce themselves. To make it easier, I'll give you a couple of questions. And because today's topic is about traveling, let's hear, first of all, where you're from, when you moved away for the first time, or in general, when you've moved away from your home country, and what was the reason of moving away? So that will be the first question, the introduction. Who would want to start with that?
Hello, my name is Michaela. I'm from Italy, and I moved here, which was my first experience abroad, in 2024, so 2.5 years ago now. I came here after my high school graduation because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do in my life, but I knew I wanted to study English, so I came here basically to learn English and do a little bit of experience somewhere else in the world. And then here I am now, still 2.5 years later, studying and working in Sydney. So, yeah.
Thank you, Miki.
There you go.
Hi, I'm Tam. I'm originally from Austria, and I moved to Sydney actually almost a year ago. It is almost exactly a year ago. But this wasn't the first time I moved away. The first time I moved away was 6 years ago when I moved to Berlin. And where actually Tiana is from. So, did you ask the question about why we moved away?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's actually two different reasons, almost like the exact opposite. I moved to Berlin and to Sydney. Because the reason I moved to Berlin was my passion is actually music. I started composing music when I was really young, and it was not really accessible in Austria to pursue a career in music, even though Austria is very well known for classical music.
Exactly.
But you can't really work in a music publishing company or label. So I found a job in Berlin, and that was the only reason why I moved, because I don't really like the city.
Wait, you don't like Berlin?
Not really. There are parts of it I really admire, but I moved there in October. So it was the start of winter, and Berlin is dark for 6 months of the year. And my reason for moving to Sydney is the complete opposite, because it was not bonded to a career. It was just I love the city. And that was the only reason I moved to Sydney. Yeah.
That's great.
Question. Can I just slip in a question here? What do you think about people mixing up Austria and Australia? What's the...
Very good question. It actually didn't happen here to me. It only happens when I travel to another country. I remember being in Cape Town, and then when people are asking, "Oh, where are you from?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm from Austria." "Oh, Australia, the kangaroos." I'm like, no. But it never happened here, actually.
Oh my gosh.
Have you heard it?
That's good.
Are people mixing up here?
I think it's an ongoing joke, maybe for Americans, maybe. I think, is it, I saw a photo, or maybe it was a meme, not sure if it's true, but I think it was an airport in Vienna, and there's a sign that says this is not Australia, this is Austria.
Like actually?
Well, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure whether that was a joke or not,
There's the
but
same name of the city. So there is the same name, like Sydney is Sydney here, and there is somewhere else Sydney in the word, and sometimes they just get in the wrong plane. I think it's something like that. I saw that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it's your turn.
Bear's turn.
hi, my name is Bea, and I'm from Czech Republic, but ethnically I'm Polish. So whenever I explain where I'm from to other people, it's a bit confusing. But ethnically, again, I'm Polish, but Czech citizenship. And the reason why I moved away. Well, interestingly enough, when I was really young, I already knew I wouldn't be living there. For some reason, you get this gut feeling that this is not your place to be. And I think I was maybe like even like 7, 8 since, I knew back then that this is just not my place to be, not my home. I just had to wait a couple of years to find out where it would be, where I'll be moving out. So I did live in the UK for a couple of months. Didn't like it. It was just the UK. Okay, obviously. The UK is nice and everything. I was at the wrong spot. I was in a very like industrial. It was in an industrial area I was living in, and there was nobody young my age. I was just being friends with elderly people. So
It was an experience, though.
It was an experience. Yeah, what can I say? First time I was 18, so I took a gap year.
Crazy.
Yes.
But yeah, I know you for so long, and I didn't know about that.
Really?
It's the first time I read this.
Oh yeah. Haven't we known each other for like 3 months now? Though
That's very long. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we've known each other for like 5 years.
Yes.
But yeah.
So
Yeah, there you go.
when you move away, 3 months is a long time.
Yeah, I know. That's true.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
something we might get to talk about, like how 3 months is now long, but if we would consider like at home, long would be a childhood friend. Not someone you just met like a couple months ago.
Yes, exactly. What else?
No, I think you've covered everything. You said where from, you've said when you moved, and the reason. You did a great job.
Yeah. I would probably just maybe add up another reason was I just the culture I'm from, it like my worldview was already so different to my culture. Didn't know how that happened, but I already saw things that I didn't like, that I didn't really connect to from the very young age. So I just needed to find somewhere that I would feel, I guess, accepted, or either accepted or feel like this is where I can express myself, be whoever I am meant to be. And that culture I'm from, unfortunately, I just didn't feel like that was the right one.
I'm actually like sorry to hear that you didn't feel that your home is actually your home, that the people who are in your home country you don't resonate with. Like, I'm sorry that that's the case. Yeah, I can resonate with that as well. Like, to a certain extent in Berlin, like we've talked about, you mentioned today even the the train stations where, those people, like they might even scare you to an extent.
It's not, sorry, to give a context to it. It's more, some places here remind me of home.
I agree, yeah.
Yeah, that's why, I don't know, train stations are a weird thing in general, I think. Because there's
Everywhere.
We know, because Mickey works.
Let's talk about train station, guys, please.
Mickey works at Wynyard, right?
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I work in a
Wynyard.
train station, and you can find the weirdest people on earth there. So yeah, I agree. Like, it's horrible. The place itself is horrible.
It's a mixture of. It's just another planet, I think.
So I guess everywhere you go on this planet Earth, the train stations would always be the one that you shouldn't go to.
Definitely yes.
Sweet. Thank you guys so much for the introduction. I loved it.
What about your introduction?
Okay. Your girl is from Germany, Berlin, and
Yeah.
and so I graduated high school last year in July 2025, and like I studied a ton. I was sitting in front of my desk, and I just knew going to uni wasn't the next step because, guys, there's so much more out in this world than academics, and that got proven right to me by traveling. So after school, I wanted to travel, and how I chose Australia. I mean, I looked at the whole world map, and I think it's so crazy how we can go everywhere. If we wanted to, we could just book a plane, and like we're not really restricted. And I feel very grateful to have that. But as Mickey said, I also wanted to learn some English, and I wanted to escape the German winter. So Australia was one of those, like there were not a lot of options left, and my big sister went to Australia, and I just saw myself there as well. And now it's been 10 months that I'm here. So the reason being solo traveling, and yeah. And it's been great, and in 2 months I'm already back home.
That's sad. That's sad. Don't think about it. Also, you still haven't experienced Australian winter, though.
Sorry?
You haven't experienced Australian winter yet. Which is
feels like it
probably
already.
worse. It's probably worse than German winter,
That's
I
why.
think.
Also, before she was like, "Oh yeah, the weather here is amazing," and I was like, "Are you sure about it?" Because I'm not that sure.
But at the same time, I think because the summer is so hot, like you feel like, I mean, what is the facts? The facts are it's not getting below 0.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. So,
No. What is it like? Maybe the lowest, what is it, 13?
13.
I don't know,
12.
Sydney
see, so
specifically.
that's nothing, guys.
It's not about outside, it's about the inside.
Okay, that is true. That's what you've said. That like the houses are not made for winters here.
That's actually so funny. Before I moved to Sydney, I saw all those reels about that it's colder inside than outside. And I was like, come on, that's not true. I have to tell you, it's true, unfortunately. So you haven't experienced that, Tiana?
No. I came in. Lucky, thank you. Yeah. No, I didn't experience that because I came in September, so it was already like getting warm. Okay, guys, I wanted to ask you. I think this is one question I'm really passionate about. Is since you've moved away, how have you changed in terms of values, in terms of perspective on life, as a person, and to make it even deeper, is like, how do you see yourself if you would have stayed at home? Yeah, how would that have been?
I guess the way I've changed, I probably wouldn't call it even a change. It's more that I actually came to who I was meant to be. So I felt like I was someone else in the past, but now I feel more myself. So it's not really a change. It's like coming back to my origin almost.
Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know who said that. I read it somewhere. It's definitely not mine. These are not my thoughts, y'all. I just take it.
They could be, yeah.
So yeah, definitely feel like myself, and I don't know what the process exactly was. And I think when we say that we change, I think we constantly change. Every couple of years, like I was someone else 5 years ago, I'll be probably someone else 5 years from now. But I guess the process and why it happened, moving away from home, it's just you come here and you open up to all the possibilities. You see how people have different culture here. They're more relaxed. You kind of get to experience this cultural shock where you're like, oh, why does this feel so much different? Why is this culture so way more open-minded, I guess? And you start relating to that. Specifically in Australia, I guess if you move somewhere else, it can be way different. But I think the openness to these new experiences also kind of opens you up to changing, I guess, and people who you talk to, they change your mind and change your you think about things differently. So I think it is important to stay open like that, and also stay open, but also still stick to your values and stick to what you're passionate about, because you still bump into people who you disagree with, not disagree with, or you have different opinions, but stick to that, because I guess each one of us, has different kind of view of on life maybe, or different things, and it's always kind of fun to discuss that. So and if I stay back home, oh geez, yeah, that would not be good. I guess I would probably be stuck, to be honest. I would probably still be a different version who I was back then, just a slightly, I guess, older version. I think I'd still probably would be frustrated with the culture or the mindset. And I probably would be struggling in that old way. Struggles here now are way different. I struggle with different things, but struggle never goes away. I don't think so. Yeah.
I'm actually curious about that, because I feel like you can change the place you live in, but if you don't change your mind, then you will kind of bring your issues into the new country. But how you phrased it was more like that moving to Sydney allowed you to be yourself. So how was it possible for you to leave behind like your past?
Leave my past is my old way of thinking.
Did it even change? Did your thinking even change? Or was really the moment you moved, you were like, oh, I can finally be myself, and now I understand why I couldn't be the way I wanted to be in where you're from?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think you're right. Maybe because I didn't feel like I was almost allowed to express myself in my own way or express my opinions, because they were just shut down. That's not everyone was like that, obviously. Like I obviously I still have great friends from Czech back from uni, so not everyone was like that, but majority as a culture in general, it can be very closed-minded. So I think because I already was kind of a little bit seen, even within my family, like as a black sheep, or a bit of more like a rebellious type of a person, I think that openness was already there. It just needed to come out in a different environment, I guess. As you say, yeah. So like coming here, I could maybe see that people had like different, like actually the same point of view or similar, and they were asking questions. And I think once you start being interested and curious about other people, you just start feeling safer. Without being asked anything. So yeah, I guess just asking questions is a good way being asked questions is a good way how to get yourself out there.
I also have a couple questions.
Yeah, let's go.
So when you said about change, you know how sometimes, so that's something I've heard from someone, also in a podcast, and that's how I imagine. I go back and people are like, damn, you've changed, or like, you've changed. And it can actually sound or can be conveyed in a negative way. But man, I'm glad I changed. I'm glad I did. Like, I didn't go all that way to not change, you know?
Yeah.
So heck yeah, Bea. I'm so excited to hear that you didn't feel like that staying at home, and you went and you feel like you're a person now. That makes me so happy.
Oh, thank you. Likewise to all.
And I think what you've also mentioned is like a key point is like when you answered the one with like imagining yourself staying still at home, you still would have had that urge and still that struggle. So I think until you don't actually take action to figure something out, you will always have that feeling. It won't just go away. Like, it won't just disappear, that feeling of, oh, I'm actually happy at home, you know? Like, I like these people. Like, no, like, you gotta go to find out. And if you go and find out, even though people might not be in Australia, the people you were thinking of, then you have your answer. But if you stay at home, you never will find out your answer, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it gets to the point when you're like, why am I feeling so this way? Like, what's wrong with me? And it's like, not necessarily there's nothing wrong with you. It's just like, even those negative feelings can point to something that you need to change. That how to put it in the words? I think what I'm saying is, when you feel the urge that's full of negativity and you don't feel well, it's maybe pointing towards something that's better in the future. That there's not necessarily anything wrong about you. It's just negative feelings aren't supposed to be fixed, I guess. Some of them just urge you, I guess, to do something about it.
I actually I think it makes absolutely sense, because there are some things, like some negative things, they can always happen. And as you said, as you probably said before, like, how did you left that behind and then came here and things like that. But I think you don't have to leave that behind. You can bring it with you, but then there is always a change that you can do, and you can okay, no, nothing. We should cut this entire thing, I think, because we're not going anywhere. I don't know. I had in my mind. In my mind was making so much sense.
What was your? Do you want to say your thought again? I would love to hear.
No, I actually don't know now.
It sounded so good, I swear.
And then keep going like, no, nothing. Nothing.
Wait, Sienna, we have to do a new intro. This is how you not do a podcast.
Exactly. No, because I'm sorry. It just I lost my own words. Anyway,
Mickey, don't be sorry. We all can lose our words.
so it's okay. I'm gonna just answer your question. I think it's kind of okay. To answer your question, I would say, well, I feel like I'm changing a lot here, and I'm growing up a lot, because I left home when I was 18 and now I'm 21, almost 22. So it has been lots of changes. I definitely feel more mature. Not to show off, I'm mature, you're not. Definitely not. But it's more like you have more responsibilities that I had, for example, back home. From the daily basis things, like you have to pay the rent and find a job and go to uni and do everything by your own, because you get rich if you want. But yeah, you have to sort out lots of different things that, for example, back in Italy, I was not doing because my parents were doing. So under this point of view, I think I really grew up a lot, and kind of quickly as well, because when you come here, you are literally someone, but you have to figure it out everything day by day, what you're doing. And it can be kind of a struggle at first, but then you just get used, and now are just normal things on a daily basis that you just do. And I think my values are basically the same. I would say I really kept my values close to me. At the same time, I developed some parts of them. For example, of course, meeting people from all different countries, all the different countries in the world, it makes you your mind more open and more wide. And of course, you have to be able to welcome all of these things and all these thoughts. And you kind of change your perspective for some under certain kind of points of view, but at the same time, I would say my values, they are really strict to me. So yeah, it's probably my overall view of my life and my and how you can interact with other people, or how you can actually learn from other people, that change, but the values and everything, they still stay with me.
I find the value point really interesting, because for me it was the complete opposite. only because I changed my values, I was able to move to Australia. So I'm curious about your values about that, because my main reason to move to Berlin was to work, to like climb the career ladder. So I was all about work, work, work. I didn't have like a great work-life balance until I changed my values that I want to have like a better work-life balance. And when I first traveled to Australia and I realized, wow, people really have a great work-life balance here, that made me even more want to move to Australia. So I'm actually curious, what are your values that you feel like you can have the same values back at home and in Sydney at the moment?
Wow, that's a good question. Well, I would say something that I really value and it's really important for me is the relationships that I build with people, especially with the closest one that I get to know, or my family. So I think, like, for example, here I have my entire family is back in Italy. So I don't have a real family here, but at the same time, I had the luck, I would say, that I could find some people that are now becoming my family here in a certain kind of way, of course. And I think like that it's really important to me. So I always try to keep the same connection, or like try to build the same kind of connection, like somehow, with these kind of people as well. Because I really need to find like my people to be okay with me. Not because I cannot stay by myself, of course, but because I don't know, I get so much energy from other people too. So that's probably something that I do really value, and I didn't change while I was here. Actually, maybe it changed a little for the better, because now I'm welcoming more cultures and more people, because of course I was coming from like a little small town in Italy, so everyone knows everything and everyone knows everyone. Here I think you have the possibility to really go and explore and meet people from all different countries and things like that. Yeah.
So good.
Yay.
Thank you, Mickey.
We're learning. We're learning.
We're learning.
So what other questions do you have? Just like run through them.
You know what? The next one is one I'm really excited to hear about, and we might cry because I wanted to ask you guys, what was the lowest point you've hit since you're gone?
Guys.
In that sense, I wanted to ask that because like I feel like on the phone when you see people traveling, you see all these highs. You see how they are taking those trips to all these different countries, how they're, I don't know, in nature, how they're with so many other people, taking a dip in the ocean, doing a bonfire, like, don't get me going on, like there's so many things. But who is sharing like these lows where nothing is going as planned and you feel like, was this the right decision? Was this, where am I going? So it's in the sense of not to like go back and feel bad about ourselves, but of what we've overcome, and that like everyone who's just about to do this to know like there are going to be lows, I think, for everyone. And so just share as much as you want to and feel comfortable with.
I feel like my lowest point in Sydney was when I wasn't sure if I can stay here, because I really wanted to get, or I'm still in the process of trying to get permanent residency to not leave the country. And today's, I think, the 23rd, and my visa expired on the 10th of April. And until that day, I didn't know if I'm able to stay in Australia.
That story is such a hero story, though. Like,
Yeah,
it's insane. Yeah, do you want to?
Yeah, I can go into that because I learned a big lesson out of it. So basically, I had many problems with all the migration agents I worked with. And at one point, the only thing which helped me out of this, because everything, no matter what you do, no matter what you want to build, you constantly have in your head, wait, what if I have to leave? Mm-hmm. And the only thing which really helped me to get out of this was to really trust that everything will be all right and let go of control. the moment I decided, no matter what will happen, it is meant to be, I was getting better. And luckily, on the 10th, the day my visa expired, I got my bridging visa. So, yeah, now it's waiting.
We love bridging visa though.
I can see, like, imagine not knowing what if you have to fly back home the next day because you don't know if you get confirmed that bridging visa. There's so much uncertainty in there, just so much. Wow.
Yeah, and also I really felt depressed, but I didn't want to acknowledge it because I was like, I tried to say, oh, it's not a big thing. And the moment I got it, I finally, like the next day, going into my car, I love life again. So it's like so interesting how you like ignore the fact how demanding this fact is that you don't know if you can stay in a country where you literally build your life for a year.
Wow. Lowest point? That was the lowest point?
In Sydney, yeah. I have way lower points in Berlin, but I'm not going to get into that.
Oh my gosh.
Let's hear about your low points.
We should have met in Berlin already to make...
I know. Probably then it wouldn't be that low.
Just a side note, I thought that everyone was loving Berlin. Like whoever people I've met from Berlin who come from Berlin or moved to Berlin, they were like, oh, this is the best city in the world.
That's actually what I said before. Like if you kind of don't change your mindset, then no matter where you live, you won't like it. So probably I had like a complete different experience if I already had like my current mindset. I just hated it because, yeah, I was just constantly working, so I couldn't really experience the cool sides of Berlin. Okay. Yeah. And also I feel like people who move to Sydney probably also have like a complete different experience than us. True. Like there are people who hate Sydney. So
that is what I'm gonna say. Guys, I don't think places, everyone can have the best time of their life in a city and another person will have the worst time of their life. I think people make places. I think it depends on who you know and what you're doing. That is probably one of the biggest lessons I've learned. So I wanted to mention that because it's something I realized for myself. It's I could live anywhere, but if the right people are not with me, and life is not going to be as good. Miki.
Yes, this is one of the point because I think my really lowest point here in Sydney was last year when lots of my closest friends that they've been staying with me for the last like the previous years, they just left to go back to Europe or whatever they were coming from, and in that moment I felt really lonely. Also, I had to change like lots of different houses and, like new uni, new stuff going on in my life overall. And I really felt down because I'm a really extroverted person, I had to say.
What?
And do you think so? And staying alone for me is really consuming because I know how to stay alone, but I get lots of energy out of other people as well, as I said before. So like that moment when everything was changing and everyone was changing, I felt like, am I doing this right? Or should I just go back to Italy? Because I know back there I have my family, I have my friends. They're calling me every day saying, where are you coming from? Why are you not coming from? Like, when are you coming back? Sorry, not from. So yeah, like it's crazy. I think that's a really good point. Like it's hard sometimes to find the right place because not always you can find the right people to share the experience with, and yeah, sometimes it just get harder and harder and it's not always easy. But then you find some amazing people like now and you're happy again.
Thank you guys that I met you and that I can spend time with you. And I have to, again, like say, heck yeah, like I agree 100% with that. And that was something, so if you're gonna travel, don't choose the country, choose the people or the project you're doing. But that's something I tried to do. I was like, I can go anywhere, but I just want cool people that are gonna make the life even more uplifting, and you can share stories with and encourage each other for your goals. So if you know where those people are, go there. The location is not that important. Do you guys agree with that as well?
Can I say something
Yeah.
controversial? Because
Yeah.
I have a different opinion. Like, I agree people make places, but you have, like, as Bea said, she could feel more herself in Sydney, and it is maybe because the people in a country feel more like you, and especially, like, I feel like no matter if all of my closest friends would move to Berlin, I wouldn't want to get old there, because I love the ocean, I love the sun, I love the summer. So I would rather invest the energy in finding the right people where the environment also feels right to me.
Yeah, that is. How you put that into words, that makes so totally sense, because you have different activities everywhere and different weather. Yeah, so I don't want to take away of that acknowledgement. I think just because I've had that emotional experience, I went straight into the argument of, but yeah, I don't want to take away of that perspective, because that is true as well. Can I share then this experience of mine, and I want to hear what your guys' opinion is on that. Because I've said that, but I didn't elaborate on what my experience has been.
Sure.
And it's been something that has been like years apart. So imagine Tiana, 16, she's excited for this student exchange program in the US. She's organizing this with a organization who at the end give your application to families of the whole country in there. Like, you could go anywhere. I got chosen to a state I didn't even know before, and it was Maine. Maine is on the East Coast, right at the border to Canada. And in my head, I pictured a more warmer state. Having said that, I went. I did that, coming back, guys, best experience of my life. Why? Because I had the best host family in the world. I still am in touch with her, like with my host mom and my host siblings. So I've learned from that experience. And now comparing that experience from back then, now me solo traveling, I did the East Coast, that is something all backpackers do here. They're like, oh yeah, I'm doing the East Coast, and sometimes even do the West Coast. But one exciting location is Byron Bay. Yeah. That is probably, if you ask people, they all have heard of it because it's supposed to be that cool place. And it is. I've went. I've stayed a week. But yeah, I sat at the Byron Bay beach all by myself with my sister on my phone and crying. And being very, feeling lonely. And I didn't know if I could do the solo traveling anymore and if I had to go back. So then I went to a place that's supposed to be the place, but it was me with one single friend who I didn't really feel that of a deep connection with. And yeah, just comparing those two showed me that people are that is the story behind that.
Yeah, it's a combination. Yeah, it's basically no matter how beautiful your environment is, if you don't have people around you, it's not good. But also the other way around, no matter how good the people are, if you don't like the environment, you're not gonna be happy.
Yeah.
Also, it depends kind of for most people, I guess, depends how old you are as well. If I was your age, which is like, what is it, 21? Yeah, I know. Well, how
Then
old are
don't
we?
say that
Tex?
we're saying that you're old, okay? You're saying by yourself this thing, okay?
No,
Bea?
you did
Okay?
say. You always say the older person. How old? Oh, they were like 34, 33, which is my age.
It's actually funny,
sorry.
like they're in their 20s and we're in our 30s.
I know. What I was saying is, when I was, if I was 10 years younger now, probably the place wouldn't matter as much for me back then. It would be more about the people. I would be like thinking about, let's learn how to surf. Let's go out for a surf every single day. Do I think about it now when I'm 33? No. It's more about the stability, but I'm thinking more about the future of making up, like getting my savings done and not having like $5 in my account. Sometimes I still do have $5 in my account and that's it. But it's just, the priorities in your life at that very moment, I guess. And that changes whether the place is the thing or the people, I think.
Ooh, Bea,
Very
thank you
good
for
point,
that. Yeah, thank you for that thought. That hit.
Yeah, we just have more experience here because we're a bit older.
Exactly. No, but seriously, now that I think about that, of course, like that's what I meant. Like Berlin was a time in my life which had like really good sides as well. But could I imagine getting old there? No. So yeah, it comes with age.
And there's like one more thing. When we're talking about like the struggle and like being at the rock bottom, I think was it like a week ago you sent me a meme? I was laughing at it so hard because it depicted like problems of two people. One is an immigrant living in another country, and the other person is just like being back home and like, I don't know, their daily problems. And the immigrant is like, oh, cute. I almost like died yesterday. I have nothing to eat. My visa's like, I don't know what's gonna happen with my visa. Like, I might be kicked out of my house. I have nothing in my bank account. Very cute, yeah. But
Speaking about that, have you talked about your rock bottom?
No.
About what? No. Your rock bottom.
Yeah. I'd probably say I've never struggled more in my whole life than being here, or like had like a worse rock bottom than being here, which is interesting to say because at the same time in those days I would never think of going back. Like I didn't even accept that was a possibility for me.
Fighter.
I'm actually really stubborn. Like I'm like really stubborn, which is sometimes a good thing, sometimes it's not. So I think I never like thought this is getting really hard, I should go home, because I just knew it wouldn't get any better. Going home, maybe it just will get a little bit even worse. That's just speaking about like mental health issues. When like 25 years I was fine. I was fine. I wasn't processing much. Then all of a sudden, minor thing happens, and like you get to this like really dark place, and you don't know how to process your emotions. In your 25 years, you don't know how to like deal with your nervous system, which is crazy. But I think the rock bottom was probably the people. I had studied here uni for 3 years, so I built my family of friends that like they were my family, like the chosen family you have. There was a group of girls. We were together all the time, just like living in each other's houses, basically. I started business with video production with one of those girls, with one of the friends, and it went well. But then things just go hard with COVID and like other things, and she just left all of a sudden, which wasn't very. It wasn't fun. It wasn't a soft leaving. It was more of to me, it's a little bit more of a stab in the back. And then all the friends we had in common, they just left, like out of my life. So it's just like my circle of friends shrank from like, probably like to like 10%, from like 100% to like 10%. And when you live overseas, this like people most, like as we said, like it's the people, sometimes it's also the place, obviously, that make you feel like home. And like that was such a hard hit, I think, like the worst. And yeah, since then I guess it was really hard to like build completely like, new community, new group of people. All of a sudden you have no friends, and that was, I guess, I don't know, to me it was such a basic thing to have friends and relationships. I took it almost for granted, and once something like that leaves, you're like, oh my gosh, like this is such a like basic need as a person, and if you don't have that sorted out, it just like ruins every single other thing you after, like career, like with education, like your dreams, like it's just like drags you down. So I think, yeah, it took really long time to build, you know, new group of people around you, like find a great job. Like I have an amazing work with amazing people. Love coming to work every single day. Yeah, takes a long time, but yeah, if you stubborn like me or just be stubborn, I guess. We all stubborn. Oh my gosh, you're one of the most stubborn people as well. In the bestest way possible. Yeah.
I'm sorry this happened to you, and I'm glad you came out of it. But while you were telling the story, I actually realized, because I was thinking you all were talking about that your rock bottom where you didn't have the people around you, and I was like telling this stupid visa story, and then I thought, wait, did I also have a story about not having people? And then I remembered this was even worse than my visa situation. I broke my pinky finger in Australia, and I was here for, what was it, 5 months or something? So I didn't know many people at the time. And also I work for myself, so there's like no company, no like work besties and stuff like that. And then I remember that's the saddest moment I think of my entire life, that I had to get surgery actually, and that you're allowed to get home from the hospital. Somebody has to pick you up, and I didn't have someone. And I felt so embarrassed. I was like, oh no, like how do I get home from the hospital? And then the only people I could ask were my current landlord and the previous one. So that's how lonely I was, and that's when I realized it's you need people, friends.
Yeah, that is devastating actually. Yeah. That moment. Yeah. If you're like, it's like, who's your emergency contact? And you're like,
Yeah.
Myself.
you don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Wow, damn, yeah.
And also, like, not diminishing the visa fact at all. Like, I think the visa is probably like the bottom of like everything else. Because like, if you don't have your visa sorted, it's your home. You feel like this is your home, but it's not really officially. It's like this can be taken away from you like anytime. So if you don't have that sorted, then all other problems just pile on top of that. So.
And in general, like this thing that here everything can change in a blink of an eye. Like it's crazy how they can change so easily, and you don't have lots of stability because everything here, from the visa, from the people, from your house, like everything can change so quickly, and it's so stressful. Honestly, sometimes it's just getting overwhelming. But yeah.
Does anyone want to add something to the low rock bottom part? Do you feel like you've said everything about this topic, the rock
I think
bottom?
so. Maybe like instead of sorry, like on the brighter side though, obviously, like people who are wanting to move overseas, like obviously we're not supposed to expect that everything's gonna. It's we shouldn't expect that it's easy. Obviously, the dreams are there. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be living in this country. You do get a cultural shock. The first 3 months can be amazing. But then after a while, you're like, actually, people here also have issues. Like everything is not as great as we think. And that's normal. But on the brighter side, like, yeah, it's a big struggle moving overseas. But at the same time, if you know this is where you're supposed to be, it's somehow... everything's kind of worth it. It's worth the pain. So it's just like on a positive note.
I love that. I want to challenge you guys to keep this answer in a sentence even. What would be one advice you would give your younger self before moving away?
I have one.
Oh, so big.
Enjoy the journey, because you never know when it ends.
The visas, is it?
Yeah. Like, if I should I explain it? Like, you want it in one sentence, but basically, when I was in Berlin, as European, you ended. No one will force you to leave the country. But only when I moved to Australia, I realized, oh my God, I literally need to enjoy every single day, because I don't know if I have to leave. And I didn't do that in Berlin. So I feel like in retrospective, I'm sad that I didn't enjoy Berlin more now that I don't have it anymore.
Do you have an answer to the question, how do you enjoy the moment?
Very good question. Let me think about it. First of all, figuring out what gives you enjoyment. I feel like there's no right or wrong answer for everyone. And for me, it's not working 24/7. So actually, yeah, do what you love. And that's different for everyone, yeah. So, but you have to figure out what actually makes you feel good.
I love that. Thank you, Tams. What is your guys' advice?
Bear your face. I would say just follow the flow and like really connected to time actually. Just enjoy everything. But I would say like to my youngest person, just follow the flow, because if you try to organize and schedule everything, it never goes as predicted. So just follow the flow, trust yourself, trust the people that are around you, and for sure you're going to find your way somehow. You're going to find whatever is meant to be for you. But yeah, I would say to myself, just go enjoy, don't stress out too much. You have time to stress later on in life, just go and enjoy.
And probably me, similarly to Mickey, if it was aimed specifically at my younger self, not anyone else, I also have quite a lot of issues with giving up control or like just leaving it be. I just have to have a feeling that I can control everything. So it's just like learn how slowly, very slowly, how to let go and yes, be stubborn or go after that with that gut feeling. What you feel that you being pushed by that gut feeling, just go after it. But at the same time, it's a balance, right? And so far, so good. Even though through all those, all that bag full of crap, just carrying around, I'm still here. So yeah.
Anything you guys have on top on your mind that is the last question I want to end this podcast with is, around this topic, have we, in your opinion, not talked about something that is crucial though? Or are you guys happy with what we've covered?
I think that's just like more of a just thing I thought today about that. We don't really think about how just the move, what the move affects exactly. It also, we should include health. Like, hey, like if I move somewhere else, there might be some health issues that all of a sudden pop up, whether that's
Mental.
mental health issues, sure, for sure, but also physical. Like I stopped eating bread all of a sudden because I couldn't process bread, or like the flour that's being processed here is way different to what I was used to in Europe. So, health issues that I never had back in Europe because different water, different bacteria, different this. So there's a lot of change that we have to look into as well.
Our bodies are exposed to completely different environment than at
Exactly.
home.
So I think emotional change, different people, we have to adjust to the culture. That's another thing, a huge adjustment to the culture here, not vice versa. If you're living somewhere, you have to obey kind of by the culture here, out of respect, even though it's sometimes bloody hard. Yeah.
Thank you, Bea. Tams, Mickey?
No, I would say like we talk about so many deep topics today, and I would say like, guys, moving is hard. Yes, we've been talking about this, but it's also super good, and I think you should definitely try. You should just go, follow the flow, enjoy. And if it doesn't work out, there's always the way that you can fix it, or you can just go back to wherever you are coming from or something. So just really try to enjoy every single step, but don't be scared to try, because I think lots of people. I had just a conversation with one of my followers the other day on Instagram, and he said like, oh, Sydney is just for rich people, and I was like, no, I'm actually like working my, really. I'm working really hard. So it's not like for rich people. If you want to do something, you have to go and get it. So yeah, like don't let any other people just get into what you're thinking or what you want to do just because they think, oh, you're privileged or whatever. Of course, I am privileged. I have to say I'm lucky compared to many other people in the world, of course. But at the same time, like don't let the other thoughts influence what you want, and actually just go and enjoy and try. And again, if it doesn't work out, just go back and start everything again, and life is great.
And apparently pineapple on pizza is okay, Mickey says.
Of course.
No. No, this no, guys, no. I saw actually worst things going on the pizza.
Oh, what?
What?
Like ketchup.
Oh my god.
Guys.
Normal.
No, it's not normal.
I mean,
Exactly. Don't do that. Please don't.
Okay, guys. Oh, I'm so happy how you've opened up that much. I feel very blessed that I got to hear all your stories. So if you have problems, just call Mickey. Just text her on Instagram, or just ask any one of us, because we've went through a lot. Well, I cannot just go over that. I'm the shortest amount of time here. I had 2 more things. But Tams, you wanted to say something?
no, actually, you guys covered everything I could say. I like that Mickey also mentioned the positive things, because we were talking about hard stuff. Yeah.
Also, I have to say, to add on that is, traveling are the happiest times as well, and those are the moments where I feel like I grow the most. And I like to say always, I grow twice as fast when I travel as when I stay at home. That's how it feels. That's how it feels. But I think we have covered just a tiny amount of things probably that you could have said about traveling. There's so many things we could have talked more about, but I think we've covered quite a few and good topics. And I think one advice I want to leave you at home with is that expectations when you travel can make you unhappy. If you have no expectations and let life happen how it's supposed to happen for you on that travel, that is the best thing I think you can do. If you hold expectations and tight to them and they don't go as planned, you might miss some other doors the world is giving you. And so just be open-minded. And that has to do with live in the moment and let the flow, follow the flow. Guys, thank you so much. Yay. That would be a wrap on today.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.